This video is about superlative adjectives. The superlative form is used to compare one noun to a group of other nouns. For example, I am the tallest person in the room. We are comparing one person to the rest of the people in the room. This is the most beautiful city in the world. We are comparing this city to the rest of the cities in the world. She is the best teacher in the school. We are comparing this teacher with the other teachers in the school. So we are comparing one from a group. Here are the rules for the superlative form of the adjectives. You make one-syllable adjectives superlative by adding est at the end of the adjective. You also add the before the adjective. For example, small, the smallest. Rich, the richest. Cold, the coldest. Thin, the thinnest. Big, the biggest. Hot, the hottest. Remember that in the case of thin, big, and hot, you duplicate the last consonant. Thin, the thinnest with double N, the biggest with double G, and the hottest with double T. You make the superlative form of adjectives of 3 or more syllables by adding the most before the adjective. For example, intelligent, the most intelligent. Beautiful, the most beautiful. Interesting, the most interesting. Remember that in the case of two-syllable adjectives, we have two cases. You make the superlative form of two-syllable adjectives ending in y or ow by adding est after the adjective. Add the before the adjective. For example, happy, the happiest. Shallow, the shallowest. Friendly, the friendliest. Narrow, the narrowest. You make the superlative form of the rest of the two-syllable adjectives by adding the most before the adjective. For example, crowded, the most crowded. Handsome, the most handsome. So far, you can see that these rules are very similar to the rules of comparatives, but the difference is the suffix that you add. These are the irregular superlative adjectives. Remember that for good, the comparative is better, and the superlative is the best. For bad, the comparative is worse, and the superlative is the worst. For the adjective far, the comparative is farther or further, and in the superlative, they change to the farthest or the furthest. Let's see some examples. I want the biggest piece of bread. The arrow is signaling what the biggest piece of bread is. Remember that biggest takes double G. I got the smallest piece of bread. The arrow is signaling what the smallest piece of bread is. I got the smallest piece of bread. Miss Hayes is the best math teacher I have had. Miss Hayes is the best math teacher I have had. An espresso is the strongest coffee there is. An espresso is the strongest coffee there is. That's the most beautiful hotel I've ever stayed at. Here you can see that the adjective is 3 syllables, beautiful, so we say the most beautiful. That's the most beautiful hotel I've ever stayed at. Now it's your turn. Choose the correct form of the superlative to complete the sentence correctly. Remember to pause the video, do the exercise before checking the answers. Coffee is the most delicious drink in the world. Delicious is a 3-syllable adjective, so we use the most. Coffee is the most delicious drink in the world. The oldest museum in town is the Carriage Museum. Old is a 1-syllable adjective, so you say the oldest. The oldest museum in town is the Carriage Museum. Now, with these words, write a sentence in the superlative form. Please pause the video before checking the answers. This is the worst exhibition. Remember, the adjective bad changes to the worst. This is the worst exhibition. Leaving logs to express love is the strangest tradition. The word strange is 1 syllable, so you say the strangest. Leaving logs to express love is the strangest tradition. Now, complete these sentences with a superlative form of the adjective in parentheses. Please remember to stop the video, do the exercise before checking the answers. Here are the answers for the exercise. Remember that you can pause the video and practice the pronunciation. So after my pronunciation, you can pause and repeat. This is just an option. Remember, it's up to you. Our house is the biggest house on the street. For me, Saturday is the best day of the week. My bedroom is the smallest room in our house. July is the hottest month in my country. My neighbors upstairs are the noisiest people in the world. The worst driver in my family is my dad. Sophie is the youngest student in our English class. The most beautiful building in my town is the museum. So I hope this video was useful for you. Thank you very much. See you next class. Si te gustó el video, dale like. Si crees que estas lecciones te son útiles, suscríbete y compártelo. No olvides activar las notificaciones para enterarte cuando haya un nuevo video.